So far, it turns out that this new division has really kind of taken on a life of its own.
Absolutely. It's bringing back shape, symmetry, condition. I mean, this was kind of what I used to look at when I was coming up following Frank Zane, Muhammad Makaway, Lee Labrada. You kind of put the genie back in the bottle, so to speak. It's very proportionate with the height and the weights. It looks very achievable, I think, to a lot of people, which then makes it more of a participatory sport. It doesn't look so way out there, where these guys look almost alien. These guys look like they are artists, and they are actually bringing sexy back, I might as well say.
And it's brought a renewed sense of interest, especially from of the old school bodybuilding fans who had sort of lost their way, had lost track of the sport. They thought that a lot of the physiques of present-day bodybuilding had gotten to the point where it was just not relatable and not really appealing on many levels. And the NPC and the IFBB is really all about providing different divisions to appeal to all body types and all fan interests. And I think that, to some extent, is how this division came about.
Take a look at Chris Bumstead. I mean, this guy has lines. He's got condition. He's got muscle. He's pulling off the vacuum. That was something that Frank Zane used to do way back in the day, and Robbie Robinson, and I got a chance to master that. But this guy right here, he's bringing pretty much all the qualities that you would want in a quote-unquote classic style physique. The same as Breon Ansley, who we saw just as we came to the broadcast here. Breon was phenomenal at the prejudging, and I believe he's going to be battling it out for this guy for the title, as I might say. And Danny Hester has a very loose grip on that title here tonight.
Danny Hester was crowned champion of this division last year. He was the very first Olympia Classic Physique champion, and Danny became very popular over the course of the years for many reasons. Actually, his training partner is Mickey Rourke. We'll talk more about that later, but we're going to get a look at our top 5 in this division, and it's been really great watching these classic physique athletes evolve and polish up their frame, and it's more than just aesthetics. I mean, these are bona fide, legitimate bodybuilders with plenty of muscle. Obviously, you stand a guy like this, though, next to a Phil Heath, and that kind of underscores what we're talking about here.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and this is the thing. You have something for everyone. The sport has totally made an evolution. You've got physique, you've got classic physique, and then you got the freaks, which is basically open bodybuilding, where they just push the envelope. These guys actually have to hold back to a certain degree because they are working within the parameters of being a very specific weight in relationship to their height. And with that being said, the word classic comes into play because they've got to be very proportionate. They've got to think in terms of completeness, not of just size. And they also got to be aware that it's the sum total of all the body parts that's going to lead them to victory.
As we watch some of these classic physique routines, it does bring back memories of those classic Sean Ray routines because it's about the transition, it's about the flow and the presentation, and it's been great seeing that come back. And I'm sure you, who sort of personified some of those attributes, you must really appreciate watching these guys do what they do, because a lot of people have described this division as a breath of fresh air.
Well, and again, it's very participatory. This is something where if you're coming in the game the last year, or this year for that matter, you go, oh, well, I'll never beat Phil Heath or beat Big Ramy, but this is something I can do. And then you start looking at the depth. I mean, we got Darren Charles in his 40s up here competing in this. We've got the old man Flex Wheeler at 52 years old came out of retirement because this division, he felt, was something he could do at the ripe old age.
And I'm glad you mentioned Flex Wheeler. He was the big story coming into this thing. We might not see him tonight, Sean Ray, because they're only bringing the top 5 here on the main stage. So
your next finalist from the USA.
If
runner-up last year, Arash Rabar.
Arash Rabar is going to make his way to the stage. He's very impressive. But we might not see Flex Wheeler because there's talk that he did not make the top 5.
And that's the thing. That's why you have to come to Las Vegas and experience this. This is its 53rd year here. And, Dan, this is my 32nd consecutive that I haven't missed as an athlete or a fan in some representation. This is a weekend that you have to experience in person. And if you did, you got a chance to see Flex Wheeler at the prejudging.
You're looking at Arash Rabar for the first time tonight. He was the runner-up here a year ago. A lot of people feel like he was going to pose big problems for the field, including the reigning champion, Danny Hester. Based on judging earlier today, has Arash done enough to take the title?
Well, I don't know if he's done enough to take the title because he's up against some genetic freaks. He's got some things working in his favor as well, but he's borderline almost, being actually in the open bodybuilding side, pretty physique. But he's got to be careful not to lose the detail because that's what got him here. And I'm not so sure that he's as tight as we've seen him before in the past. But that being said, he's in an elite lineup, and he's definitely at the top of the food chain when it comes down to this division. Win, lose, or draw, we're looking at one of the most popular classic physique athletes out there. And again, Dan, you can only have one champion. This is a contest where I believe this title might rotate from year to year, unlike the open bodybuilding.
And the thing about Arash is not just the classic physique, but the classic look. This guy looks like he's straight out of the 1950s Your Physique magazine. You know, this is a guy who kind of embodies that whole look. So he's a throwback, and that's what this division is all about.
Yeah, and when you hear people go, hey, what are you doing? I want to look like Arash. You start hearing, I want to look like this guy, and they start picking these guys out. He's doing something right, and he doesn't have to win to remain relevant. But right now, he's representing very well. The presentation, like you said, does tie into this division, and it comes with the words classic. So you better show up and know how to show that physique off.
Thank you, Arash Rabar.
Nicely done.
And from the USA, he is your reigning and defending Olympia champion, Danny Hester.
All right, Sean, here he is, the reigning champ, Danny Hester. The question is, did he do enough to retain the title? But really, what a great story. Danny Hester won the title last year at what age?
He was, I think, 47 years old, he said he was, and he's proud of it. I mean, he never did stop training when bodybuilding was done for him. He waited for something like this to come along, and he seized the day.
And he's been a really great ambassador for the division. He trains out there at Gold's Venice, and as I mentioned earlier, his training partner is Mickey Rourke. Now, when I say Mickey Rourke's his training partner, I'm talking about the Golden Globe winning actor from the film The Wrestler and 9.5 Weeks and all those other great movies. He laces it up every day and trains with Danny, but he digs in. He's not just a showpiece. He goes in there and they do the work together.
You're right. He's not like a fan. I mean,
yeah.
Mickey's like a wannabe pseudo bodybuilder, but he's also a boxer. And this kind of cross training helps Danny, I believe, in completing his physique. I don't think he is on the mark like he was a year ago, but he's still very well put together. Father Time still hasn't caught up with Danny Hester, but this field has gotten that much more competitive. And Mickey Rourke can hang with this guy. He's not just an actor. And there's a lot of those guys. Remember Gregory Hines, the tap dancer from back in the day? Some of these guys.
To the evolution of these divisions. There was a time when Nicole Wilkins' physique was good enough to be figure Olympia. The whole younger crop has just blown past that. They've raised the bar. Danny Hester was good enough a year ago, but now you're seeing guys come in with cleaner lines and just a different flow, and it's hard for a 47-year-old bodybuilder to keep up with that.
Yeah, and I don't think very many people were paying attention to the age. They're looking at the complete physique, and today I just don't think he's nailed it the way that he did a year ago. The lines are still there. The physique is still there. He's not that far off the mark, Dan, but the guys he's up against are that much better and well prepared for this division.
Folks, history is made every year right here on this Olympia stage. This year, no different. Our next gentleman here by special invitation, he has donned this stage many, many years ago in a different capacity, but this year at 52 years old, wanted to challenge himself and prove that anybody can overcome obstacles and make their dreams come true. Please welcome the great Flex Wheeler.
Well, we're going to get a look at Flex Wheeler right now, Sean Ray, because that's what the fans want to see. This isn't necessarily a top 5 bodybuilder in this division, but they're bringing him out because, quite frankly, right alongside with you, he's one of the iconic, great bodybuilders of all time, and he came back from all sorts of adversity, got it together, and prepared to return to the Olympia. Let's sit back and watch the posing routine, perhaps for the very last time, of the great Flex Wheeler. Whoever thought we'd see this again?
Slightly different than what we're used to seeing. It's Flex Light, I should say. Still has the lines, showing a little bit of the wear and tear. He was in the 3rd call-out, Dan, which wouldn't have been in the top 10. But nonetheless, like Kevin Levrone before him a year ago, he committed to this competition, and he's actually seeing it through.
You know, folks at home, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention what Flex Wheeler has been through in his life since the last time he walked on a competitive bodybuilding stage. What he's been through personally, physically. medically. It's been an unbelievable journey. And there was a time where we questioned whether or not Flex Wheeler would stay alive. And now here we are watching him do what he's doing right now on an Olympia stage. It's an extraordinary thing to witness.
I remember when he said, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing it. And to come from the brink of death in '94 when he had the near broken neck right after he got second place to Dorian Yates in his first Mr. Olympia back in 1993, all the way up to the kidney situation, and we almost lost him in 2003. He's back, and at 52 years old, he's looking very good. That's where he got his name Flex. He's very flexible, and he's still got it.
He's come a long way from those DMX routines, I got to be honest with you.
He's mellowed.
But he's mellowed out, and man, I'll tell you, they're coming to their feet here at the Orleans Arena as they had the rare privilege of seeing an encore presentation, if you will, in the career of Ken Flex Wheeler, a Hall of Famer just like you, Sean Ray, one of the great bodybuilders of all time. And this is a real treat. The fans here in Las Vegas are up, showing their respect to one of the all-time greats.
Flex is an emotional bodybuilder, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some tears come down. He's a grandfather. He's got several kids out there. He's a newlywed. He's living in Las Vegas, and this is how you want to go out, man. I mean, this is what he wanted. We didn't think he might make it. A lot of us didn't think he would. He finished the race.
And I think Bob Ciccarello is going to talk to him.
Well, I got you for a quick second. Flex, congratulations. What a great challenge you put forth earlier in the year. You said at 52, I'm going to get back on that Olympia stage. I want one more shot in front of those great fans, and of course for the great Joe Weider. They love you, champ.
I thank you all for your support. I thank you guys for supporting our sport. I want to give credit to Jim Mannion and Robin Chain for giving me this opportunity to come and say so long to my friends, my family, my foes. I appreciate you guys. God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, Flex, this had more to do with just trying to win the title. You had a personal goal to get back out here and show that you've overcome many obstacles to make your dreams come true.
Definitely. I just want to be a beacon of light for people who've been through struggles. Kidney transplant, the disease that caused me to have to retire, I still have, so I have to fight that every day. The medication. I was in the hospital for a little over 2 years, 9 surgeries in 11 weeks. So I just want to show everybody, hey, listen, you don't have to give up on life. You can continue fighting and be in your dream. Maybe your aspirations isn't to be on Olympia stage, but just to be in the best shape of your life. Enjoy yourself, be a good man, be a good wife, be a good husband, be a good person. So that's what I wanted to do. So thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity and following me my whole career. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Give it up one last time for Olympia legend, Flex Wheeler.
Sean Ray, we've seen some extraordinary moments play out here at the Olympia stage. Remarkable moments, moments of humanity, perseverance, extraordinary achievements. Where does this rate on your list of some of those great moments?
It's right up there with, I remember Sergio Oliva brought Sergio Oliva Jr. up on stage back in '85 and held him up to show him off for the world. And that was a huge thing for Sergio Oliva back in the day, but Flex Wheeler grew up tonight. That's a different Flex Wheeler than I competed against.
All right, folks, we're going to get our top
Congratulations
five
to Flex,
back on
man. He's
stage.
come full circle.
If I can have our top 5 classic Olympians on stage, please.
Now, mind you, we missed Breon Ansley in the beginning. As we came in, he was actually doing his routine, and he was right there in the hunt at the
Hang on,
prejudging.
folks, before we get to our top 5, I'd like to acknowledge we've got some great champions that were on that prejudging stage this morning. Didn't make the top 5. But some great champions, we want to give them the recognition. If I can have our first 7 competitors on
we just
stage,
got word
please.
that Carla Sanchez is in position with our 2017 Fitness Olympia champion.
And here we are with 4-time Fitness Olympia champion, Oksana Grishina. Congratulations. wowing the crowd like you always do. Flawless routine, phenomenal physique. This is your last show. Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh my God, it's such incredible feelings, you know, when you're working so hard and got this medal. I'm honored and so happy to get every title. Doesn't matter how many titles. Every prep is different and difficult, so you just want to give everything.
Well, congratulations. We want to wish you the best. We're not going to see you on stage again.
Well, it's just, you know, I believe in fitness. I believe in new generation. And I'm in sport for more than 33 years. And I just want to give others girls the incredible. And I want to give them opportunity to do their best and feel what it feels like.
Right. Well, you are such a gracious winner. Congratulations. 2017, four-time now figure Olympia champion. Fitness, I'm so sorry.
Shawn Ray, we're about to get a handle on our announcement of our top 5 finishers here in the classic physique division. And I know the fans out there are trying to get a sense for how you see this, because this is not an easy call. The disparity from second to third to fourth in this particular division is very small.
Absolutely. It's just going to come down to opinion. And again, this is a very slippery title. This is not going to be a division where you're going to see a 7-time classic physique winner. The depth of field is just too great. The genetic pool is global, and it's different from bodybuilding because these are physique artists, whereas in the bodybuilding category, sometimes bigger is best, not better is best. So this is going to be a very interesting final results here tonight. And I imagine we saw Danny Hester. He's going to be somewhere in the top 5. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hang on to that title. Either way, this is a very popular category.
Can have our top 5 gentlemen on stage, please.
All right, so you just saw the introduction of those who did not finish in the top 5. And now we're going to learn who is going to win the second ever Classic Physique Olympia title. You're watching Amazon Sports Nutrition's coverage of the 2017 Olympia weekend. Dan Solomon along with Hall of Famer Shawn Ray. And we are going to learn in just a few moments if Danny Hester is able to hang on to that title.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. Hit the music, gentlemen.
Yeah, buddy. This is where you got to pose it down, Dan. This is not like back in the day where the guys used to jump off the stage. I know when I watched the Olympia, the guys would go into the audience. This is the second time we've ever seen the classic bodybuilders pose down, and it's a little bit different, a little bit more tame, but the same high stakes are at stake here for these guys.
It seems like the energy in the pose down resembles the nature of this division. It's a different approach than in the bigger, if you will, open division. The way they present their physique, the way they move, it's a little more cerebral, a little classier in nature, a little more tame, I guess, if you will. But what we're seeing is a showcase and the type of look on stage that you would see in a spread in a vintage bodybuilding magazine. That's kind of what we're seeing.
Look at Breon doing the splits. They're showing different things that work to their advantage. And again, when you say classic, these guys aren't just hitting just the most muscular poses. They're hitting the classic poses.
And the key for this division to work, for it to succeed in the big picture, is for the athletes and the judges to continue to honor the purpose of this division. If these guys get bigger, if they lose their way, it will lose its flavor, it'll lose its appeal, and then we'll have nothing classic at all. So we can only hope that the judges continue to reward the types of physiques that embody that classic look.
And the classic poses. We see poses here that we will not see. That vacuum that Chris is doing, we won't see that in the open bodybuilding. It's a lost art. But here, these athletes are acutely aware that the classic poses have to complement the classic physique. Now let's see what the judges like.
All right, folks, the results are in. The judges have made their selections. I always like to hear from the fans. Fans, who do you like for the win?
Shawn, whenever they introduce a new division, I always say the key to its success is these athletes' abilities to build fan bases. Because when they start, nobody knows who these guys are. And you're starting to see slowly but surely, each of these guys are developing their own followings, their own fan bases, and now we have a successful division. Let's learn who's the 5th place finisher here in 2017.
And please take the 5th place award, the 5th place check for $1,000, and present it to Danny Hester.
All right, well, that might be described as an upset based on perceptions coming in. The reigning champion is relegated to 5th. I'd imagine somewhat disappointing for Danny Hester. He was coming in here gunning for the title. But at the end of the day, Danny's got to be thrilled that he served as this division's first ever champion, not the outcome he was looking for tonight.
It wasn't.
Danny,
But he is a class act all the way. He'd love to win like anybody else, but he represented very well over the past year. And will continue. He's actually my guest poser at the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic, Dan, which you're not going to be at, but that's on November 4th in Hawaii. A little shameless plug. He's very popular, though.
Was that an invitation?
You to the stage. Vivian, please take that 4th place award, the 4th place check for $2,000 to our 4th place finisher, Arash Rabar.
All right, well, a lot of us thought coming in that last year's runner-up, Arash Rabar, was one of the favorites to win this title. What happened to Arash?
I don't think it's what happened to Arash. You want to know a couple of things? Chris Bumstead, Breon Ansley. This is a division that is no joke. As good as Arash is, these guys are right there with him, and it comes down to the subjective opinion of the judges. By himself, Arash could potentially win this competition. Another very popular bodybuilder who is going to be popular in spite of not walking off with the gold medal tonight.
Presenting the 3rd place award from Diamond Ties, I'd like to welcome back Miss Annie Seal to the stage. Annie, please take that 3rd place award, the Olympia bronze medal, and the check for $4,000 to your 3rd place finisher, George Peterson.
All right, there it is, Sean. George Peterson takes the bronze medal here at the Classic Physique, and I'd say a pretty strong showing.
And you know what? He's got a solid physique. There's a strong argument for him to be in that spot. I like Danny Hester's physique a little bit more, but this is an athlete. This guy looks like he did some time in athletics along with building his physique. I've got no argument with him being in this position. Great legs. Could use some work on the calves. Tiny little waist. He's put together nice.
The 2nd place award, Miss Kara Timken, representing Amazon Health and Personal Care. And please take the 2nd place award, the Olympia silver medal, the check for $8,000 to our runner-up this evening, Chris Bumstead.
All right, Bumstead takes the runner-up title, and we are about to get the official announcement that we will have ourselves a new Classic Physique champion. But for Chris Bumstead, this is a nice night.
It is a nice night. He's got a great look. He's very popular, marketable, cover model look. His star is on the rise. He just got handled here by the future of this division in Breon Ansley. He's a very good athlete. But Chris has the look. That's going to be a look that we're going to see around for a long time. He's doing great things with that body.
And presenting the 1st place award, representing Diamond Ties Nutrition, Miss Annie Seal, along with our Pro League president, Mr. Jim Mannion. They will take the 1st place award, the Olympia gold medal, the 1st place check for $20,000, and the title of 2017 Classic Olympia champion to your winner, Breon Ansley.
All right, there it is. Breon Ansley is your 2017 Classic Physique champion. He parlayed his momentum with that win earlier this year at the New York Pro. And Sean Ray, we have ourselves not just a new champion, but a new look, because this is the structure of Classic Physique. This is what a lot of people have felt a long time coming when they envisioned this division.
All right,
This is
gentlemen,
what a
hang on a
classic
second,
physique
guys. We
champion
gotta
would
get
look
some
like.
And we got a
pictures,
glimpse of it
please.
in May. I was there in White Plains,
Thank
New
you,
York
Jim.
back in May when Breon Serve noticed
All
that he was
right,
coming
hurrah,
from
stand
last
by.
year. I believe he was third or fourth place and he wasn't happy
All right,
with that.
gentlemen, your
Went into New
favorite
York,
classic pose.
got his qualification for this contest, and he told Danny right there at Gold's Gym he was coming. Breon's an athlete that works with legendary bodybuilder Chris Cormier. He's an old school throwback, very
And one more
polished
pose,
from
guys.
head to
Your
toe,
favorite pose.
and he got justice tonight.
You know, when you look at him and you look at the progression of his
Oh, don't
physique,
turn around.
is this a
Jordan,
guy
can
who
see
could
your
hang on
face.
to this title for a few years?
This is a very slippery slope.
who you
Again,
are in the
he
picture.
looks this way today.
All right,
Next
thank you
year,
very
a
much,
year from now,
gentlemen.
it could be someone else. He came from fourth place a year
We're
ago.
gonna have Breon
I mean, Danny
stay right
Hester
there
won a
in the
year
winner's
ago. This is
circle.
not something you're going to be able to hold on to for that long. It's just too slippery. These guys are all very good, can change places from one year to